Today we are making what we call orange roast, pot roast, and potatoes. So we trim off the fat. Why are we trimming the fat?
Because it's cholesterol and we don't like it that good.
Okay, so we're just trimming that. So tell us a little bit about this recipe. Where did you get it from?
Well, this is the recipe we used to cook when I was out with the sheep herds. When we was docking or shearing, I got elected cook a lot of times. But this is what we used in the big Dutch ovens for everybody to eat. We'd have a big fire going, and then we would cook in the Dutch ovens. This roast, only it would be much larger than this.
And since you were out with sheep, would it be beef roast or mutton?
Well, either one. We went with both. Sometimes the sheep owner would, for a change, would buy beef rather than lamb, but that's was up to him. Sometimes they'd be tired of lamb, so they'd use beef.
Okay. All right. Then, so you've trimmed it up. You're putting it in the cooker to get it started.
Yeah.
About how much water do you have in there?
About 6 cups of water, 6 or 8 cups of water.
Okay. And you're...
We put the Worcestershire sauce on top and sprinkle some in the water a little bit, like that. We get the salt and pepper. We cover it with a little salt, put a little bit of salt in, and some pepper. And now it's ready to go in the oven for about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the size of the roast.
Okay.
We cook the roast first because we want it almost falling apart when we get done with this.
Okay. And what temperature do we?
350.
All right. Okay, what are you chopping up there?
Well, we can our own tomatoes, so we put in a bottle of a pint jar of tomatoes, and so I just chop it up so that it's not big stringy things in there.
Okay. And if they don't have their own canned...
Yeah, you can just put a can of tomatoes, chop them up, and put in there. Then we have celery chopped up. That's for the flavor. We have onions. We have garlic. We have carrots. Now I just use the baby carrots. We used to cut up the big carrots. Either way, don't matter. Then
what about the potatoes in the sink?
And then we got all these potatoes. Potatoes are the main ingredient here. And so we got about 12 medium-sized potatoes cut up. And then we add ketchup, bay leaf, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of red wine. That gives it a little bit of flavor, acidy flavor. And then we put in a little bit of bouillon just for flavor. And then, of course, the roast will go back in the pan. I've taken it out to stir in all this stuff. But now we'll start with ketchup. That's another main ingredient we used to use is just lots of ketchup. And it takes about a cup or a cup and a half. Cooking wine, we just add a little of that for a little acidly flavor. Then we add a little bit of olive oil just because we took all the fat out. That puts a little bit of fat stuff back in. It's got a little different, better flavor. we put a little bit of olive oil in.
Okay.
Then we put a couple of bay leaves. We stir in a little bit of about a tablespoon of bouillon.
All right.
We add a little bit of sugar just to give it a little bit of sweet, kind of a sweet and sour taste maybe. And then we add a little more Worcestershire sauce. Like that. Okay, then we mix this up. In our pan. Then we add our potatoes in. I have some leftover tomato juice, so I'll put that in.
Okay.
We add our carrots, a package of baby carrots.
Those ones are the petite too.
Yeah. Then we add an onion in.
You just do them like in quarters.
Yeah.
And this is usually our Christmas meal also. We usually make this on Christmas Eve, and then it's the leftovers.
You can put the roast back in. And, oh, I got my recipe all wet. Hang on. We add the celery. That's just for flavor. We don't generally eat the celery, but it mixes with the flavors in here. And then we put in our tomatoes. Chopped up these tomatoes and add to the pot. This is all stirred together. Okay, you can see everything's mixed in the pot. You got the potatoes, onions, and other stuff. And now we add the garlic. Get about 3 nice cloves of garlic, and you cut it up throughout the dish.
Okay, and then we'll leave it on 350 and do it for about how long do we cook it after this?
Oh, it can take anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. You just keep poking the potatoes to make sure they're soft and edible.
All right, so you're just going to finish putting the garlic in And then that's it for the ingredients, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you, Daddy.
Checked our roast, and it's mostly all done. Here where the carrots are getting soft. The potatoes, you can stick them with a fork, and they're getting soft. We'll give it the other 15 minutes. It's on the clock, and I think we got it.
Okay, we have let it rest for about 30 minutes, let it cool down. We've started to slice up the roast. And this is what it finally looks like. I'll take a picture of the meal at the end so you can see how I do it up. The one thing we didn't talk about was that after we put the garlic in, we put in some salt and pepper.